Good morning, traders. It's Monday, February the 11th. Taking a look at the charts. Going to focus on the SP 500 here. Obviously, the SP 500 works as the tide. When the broad market is going up, we'll see most stocks rise, and inversely, when it's going down, we will see most stocks fall. So the key is to identify the trend in the market and then try to trade with it. Now, overall, if we take a look at the market, we've got these lime green areas the last 2 days. This is when the market dips into an oversold territory. We had an upward bias. Today we have an upward bias for most of the session. This is the 30-minute chart of the SP 500 futures. So we should see an upward bias. We do have also a gap window up here that might get filled over the next couple days or potentially even today. Overall, the overseas markets all closed higher. So I think we're going to see a fairly decent day in the market. Maybe we find resistance at the bottom of this gap window. Maybe the market consolidates a little bit more. But overall, when we look at this longer term picture here, the trend continues to be up. We've got the 20-day moving average moving up. We're kind of channeling to the upside. We are into this kind of upper resistance area through the middle of this consolidation. So we are kind of struggling a little bit, but overall the market's still holding up in a strong way. And at any point here, we could see it pop and break and move quite a bit higher up towards this 2,800, which I think the market is gunning for. And of course, it's a significant pivot high where both times it was tagged, we saw a multi-week correction to the downside. So I think we've got some more legs still going higher here in the overall equities market. Now, if we look at our trend analysis chart, this is the 30-minute chart of the SP 500, much like I just showed you on the other chart. And more or less when the bars are red here, we're technically in a downtrend. Orange means we're neutral. And green means we are in an uptrend. And green means we want to be looking to buy stocks, which is what we're starting to do. And then we get into these oversold market conditions. And we should expect the market to extend going higher. Now, again, strong uptrend here. We had a little bit of a pullback based on our short-term cycles. We should see this continue to push up with potential to go up. This is 280 on the SPY ETF, is 2,800 on the SP 500 futures. So there's still that potential kind of blow off top, a nice huge move to the upside before I think we see it get slammed and go into a selling phase. And this blow off here could really send some of our plays into a nice move higher. Looking at the recent price action on the spike analysis chart, it was a little spike. The previous session was spiked to the upside where it filled early in the morning, rolled over. Today we've got a spike to the downside. So we're going to have, we've got a gap window at this point, and we got a spike down. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see the market pull back over the next 24 hours to fill. Usually we're looking for just even a single spike here, a single target being tagged. That's considered a spike fill. Obviously, there's these three targets we're looking for, which would bring it all the way down to fill the gap. Most gaps get filled. There seems to be some good momentum today, so I'm not sure the market's going to actually pull back so much. It's come down. It's almost tagged this first level here in pre-market trading. So I do feel as though we're going to see the market hold up its value and potentially even go a little bit higher. There's a lot of momentum for this gap fill, maybe not to get filled today. Now, if we take a look at our positions, let's take a look over at NIO. This is had quite a pullback over the last few sessions here. A couple sessions kind of washing out with the market selling off, kind of dipped into an oversold territory intraday, recovered back by the end of the day. Overall, in pre-market trading, it is trading higher, up, trading up a percent or two this morning. If we look at this chart here, let me just go to the weekly so you can see the bigger picture, what we're looking for NIO. It is much larger chart pattern here. If it can break and hold above this level, we are going back up somewhere into this 12 area, which is what we're looking for. There's a lot of momentum, a lot of accumulation going on in this stock, and it's an IPO. If it can break back above this and hold, we should quickly see it rally back up to the 10 to 12 mark very quickly. Looking at Roku, we already took 8% off. This is the weekly chart. I feel like it could have a melt up into this 60, 63 area is our kind of upside target. If I go back to the daily chart, you get a feel for the short-term price action. It's had a nice huge pop, consolidation. It's kind of got that melt up phase. It had another pop on big volume a couple days ago, consolidated as the broad market pulled back a couple days, where it bucked the trend there on Friday, really having a nice strong session. And today it was trading up actually fairly significant pre-market, but it's faded back down. Really hard to gauge these these individual stocks in pre-market trading, though, there's a lot of manipulation that goes on. So we'll see how this moves. It looks primed and ready for a pop and a rally. And again, our target is around 63 up here if it can make this explosive move to the upside. Looking over at you guys are trading up this morning. It's up about, you can't see it on this chart. If I go to the 1440 minute, which is about a day, you'll be able to see the pre-market 1440. This is like the daily chart. For you guys, it's popped up. It's around 32 dollars a share, just over 32. It's up about 18% this morning. So we may end up pulling some money off the table on this play. It's a nice big one-day pop. Usually if the market gives you that much of a move, we want to usually scrape some money off, move our stop to break even, and let's see if the rest rallies. We do have a target up here to this 40 level, so there's still a lot of room to go. It's picking up speed this morning, really starting to go higher. Natural gas up almost 6% on its own. This is the leveraged ETF to the upside, so we'll see if we get a little more squeeze as it's going up here. But overall, be looking for an alert to pull some money off the table or do so yourself and move your stop to your entry price just to protect the rest of this trade. Looking over at crude oil. Crude oil continues to fade down. Let me zoom out a little bit here. Here's the resistance levels that we're at. It's kind of fading down. Looks like it's still going to continue to have another drop. We do have a downside target here of around the 50. And if it can't hold the 50, then we see potentially all down to the 47, 46 area for it to consolidate even more. Overall, it is trying to put in a nice base and it's holding its ground, but overall, I still feel as though it's going to consolidate a little bit more. Now, over at precious metals, if we take a look at the dollar's up this morning. You can see here a nice gap to the upside. Strong dollar puts some pressure on precious metals. Gold down 0.75%, silver down 0.75%. Here's the chart of gold moving lower. I'm just going to go back to the regular daily chart here. You can see gold down bar today. Overall, it's putting some pressure on the miners in pre-market. Pretty much the big pop we saw on Friday for miners has been negated. The market's right back down at its opening price from that session. That's GDX. GDXJ, about the same. It's set to gap down at the opening price of that previous day's session. So we'll see if it can hold its legs. It had an oversold bounce there. Overall, though, we are anticipating gold to really chop around and just be really kind of more random price action for a little while before I think it has a big leg to the upside. Anyways, that's it for this morning. Talk to you in a little bit. Bye-bye.